Anointed Warriors. What's up, spiritual family? Welcome back to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. I'd like to start by saying, I don't know if someone already has, maybe they have, or maybe they haven't. If they have or if they haven't told you that they love you today, I want to let it be clear that I love you. If your heart is genuine, if your soul is clean, and your intentions are pure, I love you. Okay. Doesn't matter your race, your politics, doesn't matter your background. I love you. And that is as genuinely sincere can ever be. I don't know if someone's told you yet today that your mistakes don't define you. Your hardships, your trials, your tribulations, that doesn't determine your position in his kingdom. If no one's told you that today, then let me be the first one. If someone's already told you that today, then let me be an additional one to tell you. He doesn't look at your bank account. He doesn't look at your struggles. He doesn't look at what the doctor says. He doesn't look at how many times you've tried to lose that weight or lost the weight and put it back on. He doesn't care about anything other than your heart. He looks at your heart. And if you've made mistake after mistake, after error, but your heart is still in the right place, you're still trying. You're genuinely trying. You're genuinely fighting to get over that addiction, to lose that weight, to get your bills paid on time. Whatever the case may be, if you're still trying, he's still with you. He's still in you. So please receive that by faith. If you'd like some motivation, some inspiration, some prayer directly, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the description so that you can reach out to this ministry by way of email. But just know that this ministry has been raised up by him for people such as yourself. Those that have made mistakes, those that are struggling, those that are being overlooked, those that are being shunned, those that are being excommunicated. The doctor report wasn't what you wanted to hear. Struggling to pay your bills, you're struggling to trying to do the right thing, be the right person. This ministry is for you. Now, you clicked on the video, so you're already familiar with the fact that this is chapter 3 in an ongoing series about how to destroy demons. Whether that's the demonic energy or whether that's the actual human being that the demonic energy has possessed and taken control of. Either or both. This is how you destroy them. We know that a part or a staple in how we destroy evil is through the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. So don't run away from your testimony. Don't never pass up an opportunity to either put it out there or make a way, create a way to put your testimony out there. The enemy would love nothing else than to keep you quiet and on the sidelines, ashamed, embarrassed, afraid. to let the words of your testimony flow. But the devil is a lie. Now, if you haven't watched the 2 previous chapters, please do so. Some very important information that continues to set the table, if you will, for this chapter 3 and beyond. Looks like there's going to be at least one more chapter post this chapter 3. Talking about how you destroy demons and how you become the walking, living embodiment of the absolute worst nightmare. When they see you coming, they're trying to go the other way. And for those who aren't familiar with this new level of anointing and your new spiritual skill set, the enemy, the good book says they will come in and attack you, or come in and attack me one way and flee 7 different ways. So be encouraged and be uplifted. I believe I mentioned in chapter 2 that it all starts with you knowing your power and your authority. The good book says that I have given you, he has given you, he has given me, he has given all of us that carry his light. He's given us the power and the authority to tread upon the heads of snakes and scorpions. He's given us the power and the authority over all of the powers of the enemy. It starts with us knowing that. All that he has given to us can only be activated once we really fully comprehend it and receive it. That is what ignites the activation. We have to know it, guys. And we have to know that we 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 know we know. We have the divine power and authority. We run this through him. He runs this through us, you see. Now, if you don't know this, then a man who is a king but does not know he's a king can never really be a king. A woman who is a queen but does not know that she is a queen could never really, really fully be a queen. So we have to know this, guys. We have to know that we have the power and the authority. It all starts there. This is how we destroy the enemy. The enemy is petrified of a child of God, this thing we call God. The enemy is petrified of a believer who knows their authority. It's no different than a criminal. He's petrified once he sees the law shows up. Once he sees the law shows up, he know, oh, power and authority has just entered this equation. I best flee. You got to know your power and your authority. Now, conversely, and as an additional way that you get the victory, remember, the enemy is petrified of someone who knows and who fully walks in their God-given power and authority. But now we also have to know the enemy. This is another point on how we get victory. We have to know the enemy. Any general, any sergeant, commander in a military operation, the first thing they do is become familiar with their enemy. Their strategies, their tactics, their strengths, their weaknesses, their motive operandi, their capabilities. the hideout locations, they become very familiar with their enemy. And we have to become familiar with our enemy. We have to become familiar with how he's working against us. Now, he's working against all of us through demonic means, but his strategies, his tactics vary from anointed warrior to anointed warrior, from child of God to a child of God. He attacks us on various fronts, if you will. So we got to become familiar with him and how he's working against us. We have to fully understand that the enemy is predatory. He has captured the overwhelming majority of society through sheer predatory means, if you will. Now, when I say predatory, you take 3 seconds and you think about a predator. If you were out there in the wild safari jungles, no predator is just sitting around. The predator is always on the prowl. The good book explains it by saying the enemy has come down with a total wrath. He's totally hungry, knowing that his time has run out. And he's going to and fro in the land, constantly seeking whom he can devour. We got to know this. We can't think that the enemy is just going to wait for us to fall in his lap. The enemy is going to wait for us to go to sleep. The enemy is just going to wait for us to stumble along. No, he's a predator. He's stalking. He's on the prowl at all times. So we got to know this about him. And if we know that there's a predator out there, if you're out there in the jungle and you know there's, hungry grizzly bears and lions and all these different things, you're going to be on your P's and Q's at all times. This is how we must be in order for us to destroy the demons. They'd love for us to become lackadaisical, nonchalant, to, as they say, snooze. Because he knows that bear, that tiger, that lion, they know if they see that hunter, and this is, just a general, characterization, but they know if that hunter is up and he's got that weapon out and he's on guard, they know that's a whole different equation. But if they catch him sleeping, sleeping on the job, then that's a whole different something as well. So we got to know the enemy is a predator. We also got to know how he's working against us. For some of you guys, he's working against you from sheer good old-fashioned fear. Fear that people aren't going to like you. Fear that the relationship isn't going to work. Fear that you're not going to get your bills paid on time. Fear that the medical report is what the doctor said, instead of continuing to believe it's what God says. God gets to have the last say. Some of you guys, the enemy is feeding off of you and attacking you, working against you through reactions. Always saying something slick, always saying something negative, always being rude, always seeking to bait you into a reaction so that they get that energetic burst that they need. Some of you guys he's working against when it comes to your pride. You won't let go of that job because it's a very distinguished position. And so day in and day out, you go through there and put up with BS and allow your spirit to be tormented because your pride won't allow you to let that job go. Your pride won't allow you to walk away when the narcissist provokes you and there's an opportunity, there's a calling for you to just walk away. He hasn't crossed the uncrossable line. He's just poked and prodded. But because of your pride and how it would make you look or how it would make you feel if you walked away, your pride gets in the way. And the enemy is working against you through your pride. Some of you guys, of course, it's lust. You want to do the right thing. You want to walk a more straight and narrow path. But doggone it, every time you see that young lady, every time you see that young man, pornography, the videos, you want to do the right thing. But he's targeting you through lust. Some of you guys, the enemy is working against you through your closest friends, your closest family, and your relationships. And these people are engaged in all kinds of chicanery, witchcraft, madness, intentionally every opportunity seeking a way to disturb your peace and drain your energy down. Some of you guys, the enemy is working against you through false beliefs. You know it doesn't fit your spirit anymore. You know the knowledge has came to you. But that's the belief system that was handed down to you. That's the belief of being a racist. That's the belief of being a thug that everybody else is into. And so you're just going to hold on to that belief, even though your spirit man and your spirit woman is pushing you into a different direction, calling you into a different direction. So we must be able to identify how the enemy is working against us. We got to be able to identify the fact that he's a predator. Predators don't sleep on the job. Predators go out and attack. And we got to know how the enemy is working against us. The first step, 50% of solving a problem is identifying the problem. And unfortunately, some of my spiritual brothers and sisters out there have yet to identify exactly how the enemy is working against them. They know something's amiss. They know something's not right. They know they keep circling that mountain in the wilderness, but they haven't identified exactly how the enemy is working against them. So we got to know ourselves, and we also have to know our enemies. We got to know that the enemy is a predator and a hunter. And you would think that us being anointed, you would think that the predator, the hunter, would steer clear of the anointed ones, but quite the contrary. The predator, the hunters, focus their primary attacks against the chosen ones, those who are anointed. Those that he knows has the power to destroy him. He attacks them. He attacks us because he knows our potential to destroy him. So we got to know these truths, guys. We got to walk in these truths. This is how we destroy the enemy, by knowing that because we carry this anointing, the enemy is specifically targeting us. The reason being is because you and me and all of us who carry the light, we're the only thing that is standing in the way of this predator enjoying his feast. We're the only thing standing in the way of him and his victims. So there's a unified, there is an organized, a united front to attack those of us who carry the light. This unified attack consists of the individuals on your job, in your family, in society that can sense your light and know that if they want to eat, if they want to get victims, they must rid you because you're the only thing standing in the way. So they unite. Oftentimes they don't like one another. They despise one another. They're competing against one another. But when you touch down with that light, all of that is set aside and they unite forces to attack you. Different groups, different individuals, and the system itself. They all know that you have the divine power and the divine authority to bring them to their ruins. So they're united in their attacks. They're united in their efforts to distract you and to overwhelm you and to get you to either never recognize your own power and your own ability or to lose sight of it. This is why the struggles are so intense. This is why the challenges are so multiple. This is why they come in wave after wave after wave. It's all a distraction. It's all a trying, a testing, a proving, and a refining of your faith. But it's also the enemy seeking to convince you to, hey, look that way. Look at your bills. Look at what the doctor said. Look at your relationships. And to take your eyes off of him, his promises, and all that you are capable of in him. He has given you the divine power, the divine authority, and the divine assignment to destroy demons. And the demons know this. Their only hope is to keep you from knowing it. To keep you, if you do know it, to lose sight of it. This united front that consists of the groups, the individuals, and collective society and the entire world global system. It doesn't care about who you are. Here's another tidbit on how you destroy demons. Because you can't fall asleep at the wheel thinking that because you're of a certain race, you're going to get a little bit of leeway. Because you're of a certain financial standing, you're going to get a leeway. Because you sold out to the system and you help attack those of us who carry the light, you're going to get a break. This system doesn't care who it is. When it's time to attack, it's time to attack. So whether it was JFK or Malcolm X, whether it was Bobby Kennedy or Martin Luther King, whether it was Bill Cosby or Martha Stewart, the system doesn't care. So you got to get out of your own way when it comes to anything that you may be thinking is a legitimate out for you, a legitimate way to escape his wrath. You got to know how the enemy works. And you got to know that there's no exceptions to it. Your family members will cross you. The government will cross you. Your long-term friends, your church, your pastors, your ministers, your imams, they'll cross you. All of these people have been infiltrated by the enemy. And it comes down to either you carry this light or you don't. And if you don't carry this light, if someone's in your life, or if it's a public event or the news media, if they're not a part of this light, then they can easily be infiltrated and manipulated to go against you by this demonic force. But he has not given you the spirit of fear, but of love and of a sound mind, capable of tearing down strongholds. Now, strongholds exist where? In the mind. By tearing down and coming against any wayward thought, any thoughts of fear. Danger may be real. To quote from, it's in a movie, but it's also an old wise quote. I can't call right off who said it. But danger is real, but fear is a choice. So anytime you sense that fear, it's okay to sense it. It's okay to embrace it, but you ultimately have to face it. When you run from it, that's what the enemy is hoping for. This is what is empowering to the enemy. Your refusal to face whatever fear that you may encounter. He's not giving you the spirit of fear, but a spirit of love and a sound mind for casting down these strongholds. The enemy attacks you in the mind. Again, knowing how the enemy works against you, the enemy attacks you. The enemy seeks to attack all of us in the mind. The battle is for the soul, but the battle is in the mind. This is why the good book says, be it unto you according to your beliefs. So you must realize that things such as your past mistakes, your current hardships, your failures, the people that you've wronged, all of these things are specifically pointed to, or the enemy seeks to get us to fall out of balance by focusing on those things. Yes, we should be remorseful. Yes, we should be held accountable and go to these things with our Heavenly Father and ask for forgiveness. But to fall out of balance in these things would be to allow the enemy an opportunity to infiltrate and corrode your mindset. And be it unto you according to your beliefs. Now in chapter 4, I'm going to go even deeper on exactly what it is that you can do, what it is that you must do, what it is that you are assigned and responsible to do as it relates to his kingdom in terms of you destroying these demons. They're not worried about people that are easily victimized, people that are easily misguided, people that are easily overwhelmed. They get those people a dime a dozen and a discount on the weekend. And the only thing that's standing in their way, the only thing that has the divine power and authority to stop them is you. So hopefully this message was edifying to you. Hopefully the other two previous chapter was as well. And hopefully the following chapter or two will be edifying to you as well. But you have to know your authority. It starts there. The enemy would love to get you to walk around in fear, to walk around and fall out of balance and set aside your divine wisdom, overreacting, underreacting, kissing up to fit in. Know your power and your authority. Know your enemy and how he's working against you. This is how we destroy demons. When you embody all of these things, the enemy can sense that. When they come to your cubicle, when they come to, the goofy, waiter or waitress, come to your table with this goofy energy, this evil energy, just like you can sense their energy, they can sense, okay, this is one here that's walking in their power and their authority. This is one that can see that the enemy is seeking to engage in predatory behavior. This is one that can see that the enemy is horrified and petrified of you, a true anointed warrior, fully walking in your divine authority. They can sense all of that, and they can also sense if you're not doing those things. For whatever reason, maybe you just haven't evolved just yet. Maybe, you're still worried about your reputation and how you're going to look. Whatever the case may be, they can sense. They're not, this believer is not walking in their belief. They're not walking in their power and their authority. And they're going to do everything they can to stick it in, if you will, and try to prevent you from getting to the point to where you are fully walking in your divine authority, your divine power, and your divine assignment to destroy the demon. The demon can sense that. When you walk in that, you pay attention to how they flee the scene, how they go hover in a corner, how they get out of your way, just like a dark room and you light a candle. Watch that darkness get out of the way. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me get out of here. I do appreciate all the love and support, guys. Please remember that this ministry is a holistic mind, body, and spirit ministry. It's not based on religion. The beliefs that are and the services that are merged, balanced, and synthesized as it relates to this ministry consist of experiential philosophy for the mind, ISSA certified fitness training for the body, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices for the spirit and for the soul. These are all merged, balanced, and synthesized and presented to you in an effort to help you operate at a premium in your daily to's and fro's in the land. In your mentality, your physicality, and in your spirituality. For more information about this ministry, about the services, if you're interested in prayer, if you're interested in motivation, if there's material that you'd like for me to address, whatever the case may be, I'm going to leave a link down in the description. If you'd like to become more adept, if you'd like to become more proficient when it comes to the specific strategies and steps that you can take in order to achieve this particular aspect of your assignment or additional aspects of your divine assignment, go ahead and go to the Cash App and schedule with me a 30, 60, or 90-minute personal consultation. I do live phone calls, the FaceTime, and I do old school phone calls as well. So So I'm going to leave the email link down in the description for you to reserve your personal or small group consultation. Please also visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. That's just going to give you a little bit of information and insight when it comes to my experience and expertise with diet, nutrition, all that kinds of good stuff. Also, please give back to this ministry by subscribing to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, by hitting the share button, that's very important, and by hitting the thumbs up button. This way you help grow this ministry by way of the YouTube algorithm, and you help this ministry be able to help more people. When you hit that share button, you personally help more people because you've taken a fruitful message that was beneficial to you and you paid that message forward. Keep in mind that he has promised to give you an abundant harvest on whatever seed you plant. Words of encouragement, words of thanks, leaving a comment, subscribing to the channel, sharing the message, all these things you do. When you plant those good seeds, he makes sure that you will receive a harvest. So keep that in mind, guys. That's not just when it comes to this ministry, that's when it comes to life. Don't let the enemy outplant you. Now, if the Heavenly Father moves you to make a monetary donation, plant a seed in that regards, I'm going to leave a link down in the description with the Cash App. And I believe that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate all the love and support again, guys. I'm going to get out of here, but I encourage you guys, as always, be smart, be sharp, be strong, and be safe. Be happy, be healthy, be humble, and always be courageous. And I encourage you guys to always remember that there's only two different paths in life. One path leads to blissful ignorance. The other path leads to meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in life. The selection between those two choices for your life, the choice is in your hands. So please, choose wise. That's what I got for you guys. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace. Look forward to chapter 4, guys. Peace. Love y'all. Bye.